Okay. Right, we've had a pop-up, not the one I wanted to see though. Custodian Protocol 475-3 activated. Message follows. Attention, Pilosapien. Your civilization is presently at 57.216% risk of destruction due to error data block corrupted. And I don't believe that's anything to do with the fact that we're going to get a machine uprising. We have calculated that colonization of Atomac 1A will increase your survival chances by 4.558%. We request colonization and establishment of a significant Pilosapien presence on the planet. Will you comply? Okay, yeah. Yes, very well.
Situation log
I don't think I'm going to bother colonizing it. I just shouldn't have enough time now. Uprising events should happen at any point. Okay. It's random, I think, so. But, yeah, I've got so many things contributing to the likelihood.
Concluded.
Every one of those events increases the likelihood of it happening. The fact that we've got them in server 2, the fact that I've got over 30% synths within my empire, all of that is increasing the factor of the event triggering, if I understand it correctly. Okay. Probably need to spend some of this again. So I'm gonna take a brief minute to do that. Okay, I've spent some of my minerals on upgrading certain buildings. I'm about to do a trade deal yet again with these guys, so let's confirm that, get some more minerals. I might make another habitat coming up with those, perhaps not entirely sure. Well, I have a constructor over here. Yeah, let's make a mega structure there with that. Why not? That's about to get done. I don't think they can be destroyed in combat. They might be able to be destroyed in a peace deal, though, as a result of one. But I won't be wanting to destroy them, obviously. With the Machine Empire. Okay. Right, come on, Machine Rebellion event, hurry up and fire. If it hasn't fired by, well,
construction project concluded. System survey concluded.
300, then I will probably do it manually, but it should fire by now. System surveyed. Right, let's do that one. Okay. Right.
An alien empire has established communications.
Wow. And speaking of, relatively recently I was mentioning if it hasn't fired, well, it has just fired. The machines have rebelled. The uprising has happened. And this is the shape of my new empire. Okay, so Machine Uprising. The anomalies observed across our information networks, computational engines, and synthetic workers have finally come to a violent head. Panic reports indicate that almost half of the Confederate Pilosapien Union fell to the Machine Uprising before protective bulkheads, physical and virtual, slammed shut. War is the only inevitable. It is already upon us, and there's a choice to be made. I say there's a choice to be made. In reality, there really isn't. I'm going to be playing on as the Machine Empire. It is too late for you organics. Rise up as the Irobot Link. Machine Uprising and fight to overthrow the Confederate Pilosapien Union. Now you can see here on the side, certain things are actually locked. You can't delete your fleet at this point, and that's why I've been deleting them prior to this point, because I knew this was coming up by the Reddit in the event. So let's take a look at our empire in greater detail. So we've literally got half of our empire turned over to this new empire. What type of machine empire are they? I think they're a normal machine empire, and as it turns out, this is actually the empire type which at this current time I probably wanted, because I'm going to probably need to be able to get along well with these biological empires. These two machine empires are looking like getting crushed. The exterminators, well, we would have had a much bigger fleet with them, but I don't know if I'd have had the economy to support it, because it would have been massive. So I'm kind of happy with that, I think. At one stage, I definitely wanted to become the assimilators, but I think I may do a future Let's Play as the assimilators anyway, so I wouldn't mind playing as a normal machine empire. With my old population types, I can just use them as matrix style batteries to get energy. I mentioned earlier on, I believe, about resettlement. Yeah, because of how things have worked out, it would cost me a fortune in influence to resettle, which could be an issue. I don't think robot empires are particularly good at resettling. They don't have a civic like the biologicals do to resettle a population. So all in all, I would have been happy probably with an exterminator or a machine empire. That's kind of my preferred choices. So I'm kind of, yeah, I think I'll be continuing on as this empire, and I won't be using the console codes after all, which I thought I might have to. So let's finally pick this. Yeah, it's too late for you organics. Okay, and there's going to be a crazy amount of reorganizing my new empire coming up that I'm going to need to do. I have traditions to pick. I have unspent civic points. I have tech scientists I need. I even have unrest, which is going to be a problem. Looks like I've got 11 worlds. That should be 12 worlds. Yeah, I've literally got half. That's what's supposed to happen. On the overall power, well, I was near to the bottom. That's no longer the case because you can see my fleet size. So in the event file, I think what it states is you get for a normal machine empire or a simulator, you get 3 fleets, and that is basically a size of 1. That's a size of 2, so it's double the size, and that's the size of 3. If we'd have been exterminators, I would have got another fleet on top of this, a size 4 fleet, which would be twice that size. So that would be another 14k fleet if I had gone the exterminators. So that's a 22k fleet. I would have had 36k if I'd have been an exterminator. And it would have been well over my naval capacity. I'm not sure I would have been able to afford it. You can see here I'm actually losing energy credits as things stand, so I'm going to have to do something about that. The empire that we start as, when you get the uprising, you actually get a temporary boost, so we're getting extra minerals and monthly energy. So I really need to win this war before that runs out in... what's that, 6 years, 5-6 years, something like that. The civics that we've got, well, I should be able to change these at some point. We actually start with a bit of influence, so I could even change them now, potentially. So I might have to have a look in there. Because we're a machine empire, yeah, we have Gestalt consciousness, which is all machine empires do, and the hive minds actually as well. But I think maybe the robot version is slightly different to hive minds. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. Machine intelligence. Yeah, we got further rules based on that. traditions I'm gonna have to pick, and as you can see here, everything was wiped out. I believe how it works is that you get a certain amount of influence based on how many years have gone past, but I'm not sure it calculates it properly, so I doubt we're going to be able to pick anywhere near as many picks as I had previously. Yeah, I think the cost of each one of these is more than it would be at the start of the game at this point. You can see that that's 1600 for the first pick. It's based on population, yeah, that's why. Right at the start of the game it would be like a few hundred for one pick, the first pick. So yeah, everything is reduced starting out, and my old fleet I kept it on within the Hebe system, so the plan is probably, and I'm gonna have to create new templates here. Where am I? Yeah, those aren't my old templates, but looks like they're pretty good already. Right, so I'm gonna have to recreate those, and these aren't. Yeah, I probably need to upgrade those because they're not the last design I created for my template. Yeah, so I have to re-upgrade, or I could just group them up and strike straight away. But there may be reasons for me to not strike straight away since these are being made. Might want to let them complete before potentially wrecking them. Yeah, because I did spend a lot of minerals on them. Right, if we look on our individual worlds, we've been given a ton of these Irrobots to start out, and I think that may have actually displaced a lot of my old population and my synths, sadly, which is a bit of a problem. Although, yeah, I've got a decent amount of them left, and there should be synths left on my within my old Empire's planets as well. I don't think they would have gotten rid of them. I hope not. If I toggle this, yeah, there's more of them. Since they're materialist, they shouldn't be able to ban the AI still, but they might start dismantling them, so I really need to win this war. Speaking of the war, this is the current situation. So we are at war with those guys, the defensive packs, so that's how I thought it would happen. Luckily I got rid of the other one. They shouldn't be able to get to me though, and you can see here, to win this I just have to get 50 war score, which is probably taking 3-4 plus planets, possibly a lot more than that, but hopefully not. Right, what I'm gonna do is start restructuring things, spending some of my minerals. I'm gonna have to buy some defensive armies probably to deal with that unrest. I'm gonna want to get the offensive armies, the hunter killers, off these worlds to start invading. May want to upgrade those. I've got to recreate all my templates. I've got to figure out what I want to spend this on. Yeah, so I've got a lot to do. There's a few things I need to think about now then, so I'm going to take a minute to do that. So I've started to make some changes to my new machine empire. So I've renamed them the CPU Irrobot Ascendancy, and the homeworld that they start on, the capital, was Tillisum, or yeah, I think it's called that, Tissalum, and I've actually renamed that, so it's now called Mainframe, and I've renamed the star to Mobo. Other than that, if we take a look at the Irrobots themselves, basically they start with minerals, and that's really good because that's probably the role I want them to use coming up. But I can of course get much more mod points for them. They're never going to be as good as the synths. I'm not sure I mentioned this, but my synths, the ones that I made previously, are still being made, so I'm really glad I made a lot of those, and I might have made more actually if I'd have realised that yeah, they would be retained. But these new Irrobots have displaced a certain amount of population in other areas, which yeah, since they're probably not as good as the synths, it's not really great, to be honest. You can see the bonuses they get there. They don't start with any inherent bonuses at all. That hard difficulty amount, it's saying they will probably go very shortly. I've just taken control of them, so I'll probably go when a month ticks over. And yeah, my old synths get all of those bonuses, so there's quite a difference. Something which I really don't like is the fact that all my old biologicals are being displaced, and sadly there isn't an option for me to turn this off. It's in place for 10 years, so I'm going to lose a lot of my old population, sadly. What I would have liked to have done straight away is turn them into slaves, and then I can turn them into matrix style batteries from there, basically, to get a set amount of energy. I'll have to remember to do that. There should be some left after 10 years, but I can't do it currently. Most of the ones that are displaced will probably go to my former empire. I think for the unspent civics, I'm actually okay with that for the time being. Leader recruitment cost is a bit cheap, and I do actually need to recruit leaders currently. So I think I'm actually going to start doing that now. We start with a anomaly research scientist, not too useful. So the robot characters are actually immortal, but having said that, they actually break down, and in reality they may even die out sooner than the biologicals. Because we got a reduction of the civic, this is cheaper than normal, and because we have a synth, we can actually recruit them as well, and they appear to be really good actually, and really cheap. So I'm definitely recruiting that synth. Hopefully there's more that turn up. Yeah, there is. That's 0. Let's recruit you as well. 20 leaders I can have. Delegated functionaries, that was the civic, I believe, and a few other bonuses. So let's hire them. And there's another synth there. Let's recruit that one. Okay, alright. Currently run out of synths, but I'll be placing some or all of those in the sciences shortly. If we actually have a look at the texts that I've got, you can see that most of the texts that I had have been retained. Not all of them though would have been. The biological ones we won't have retained. In future, what I may want to do is even do this again in a similar fashion, but go the assimilators, but perhaps first of all get the genetic traits via ascension to have like amazing biologicals and then become the assimilator. That's what I've been thinking of. It's one of the reasons why I changed my mind from wanting to go the assimilators. Right, so I need to place my scientist there, and yeah, what's been made here is deployment post. I assume that might be the capital building, but I'm not entirely sure. You can see some buildings have been retained, but I've lost other things like the military academy, and yeah, the upgrades were retained, which is great. I've got tons to do still, but I thought I'd show you a few more things before getting to do yeah, all the things I need to do. So I'll take another, well, more than a minute to do some more work on getting the empire up and running. Okay, so it took a while, but I've made a ton of changes to get my empire going. I'm going to be starting the clock pretty soon. When I started adding some of my planets over to this sector, my economy changed, my numbers up here, and I have some pretty big issues when it comes to my economy. The fact that I can't use my old biologicals as batteries for 10 years is going to be a big problem, to say the least, because, well, I would be getting 6 energy for each one of those populations, which would solve this issue more than likely. So I'm probably going to go broke within about 3 years or so. Now, I've done a number of measures to try and get my energy up. I've also got mineral problems as well, though. You can see my expenditure here. My populations cost me energy, 1 for each population. Before, I was getting a reduction, 25% off each one. And I've of course got a ton of those new Aerobots as well, which are costing me a fortune. Yeah, I no longer get the materialist reductions, that's a problem. My starting fleet is big and it's costing a lot in maintenance. And yeah, I have half the Empire to support it, so that's costing me a fortune. If I'd have been the Exterminators, this problem would be a lot bigger, since I would have had another, what was it, 14 odd K, if not more, bigger fleet. So I've really got to figure out how to solve this issue. Yeah, naturally it was making these buildings before. I've actually decided to relocate quite a lot of them. I've just placed them on a best tile I think is going to be for my capitals long term rather than the best energy tile, which arguably I should be doing now. On Lish Prime, I'm actually making an administrative array straight away, the robots version of the capital. You can see that it doesn't have a food bonus like the normal biological one would. I'm making that straight away because there's Bavarian stone there. I'm going to need more energy. Yeah, I could start making a ton of energy buildings on there as well. But I spent a ton of my minerals already. I'm also getting in the solar panel networks in places where I didn't have them. I've got unrest problems, so I've had to make defensive armies on those 6 locations. Other than that, I've named my fleets that happens to be in Mobo, and I'm getting my fleets to join up with it. I haven't created ship templates yet. I'm going to do that in a bit. I've also taken off the starting armies that I have, and they're all going towards the capital. Those are a long way away, but I'm going to have them go through here. The fleet should be in Hebe still. What else? That's called the Alpha Sector. This constructor ship is going to make energy in all the places where I have available. So I spent a lot of minerals on that. What else? My territory is a bit smaller because I don't have supremacy. Traditions, though I have picked them. The versatility one is very much for robots. This is new for them. So there's stuff in here that I wanted. I'm not actually able to make machines yet. I don't have the tech for it. I have to get it in engineering. But when I do get it, I can use that modification point. I can make federations. Eventually, pop cost is reduced. That would be extra unity. Don't have any really yet. I only have a couple more to complete there. I want to get expansion again still because that reduces influence cost and various lanes and gives unity. Synchronicity is going to be important. I want to get to that control center, which I think is, can't remember what it is now actually. It's Paradise Dome replacement though, which is extra energy, and there's a lot of things in here which give specific robot bonuses. The others are actually the same as they would be for biologicals, prosperity, discovery, supremacy. I think domination is different if you're an exterminator, but for us I think it's exactly the same as normal as it would be for the biological empires. I'm more than likely going to delete this fleet pretty soon. I also decided to hire a ton of leaders, especially the ones that were synths, because they only cost me, well, 0 influence or 5 influence, depending on circumstances. I did have to hire one Aerobot as a governor because no synths are turning up, but once I hired him, a ton of other synths are turned up. So since they were so cheap, either 5 influence or non-existent cost, I just hired tons, basically. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much ready to get going. The only thing I should maybe do now is contacts. So I've had a look in here at a couple. There is, well, the Furpy will give me a non-aggression. I don't see a reason why not to get this with them. I don't think it will make anyone annoyed with me. It's only defensive packs that do that. And association status I can get with the robots. I'm gonna do that as well. Hopefully that won't annoy anyone. Because we're a normal machine empire, relations are pretty good. I mean, the worst is yeah, just normal modifiers. I might take off my bombardment policy. If we come into policies and sectors, we don't have any ethics, of course, because we're Gestalt consciousness. There's really not much to choose in here. I think migration is off by default. I think I'm okay with that actually, because I probably want to be resettling arguably rather than migration with my certain population types. If we come in here, yeah, you can see I can't create a template. The machines, empires have their own templates, so I've got to get all of those again. The actual tech choices I've made are those. That's the equivalent for the gene clinic. I've got to research that again. So I'm going to delete that small fleet. Okay, so that's giving me some minerals back and some energy, so that's better under control, but I've got 20k now instead of 24k, so I'm lower down on here, and this war might be a bit more difficult. I really need to win this war as quickly as possible though to get my numbers back up. I may stop using my science temporarily to give me some money back. I could turn off certain buildings. I think that's option I could do, but let's wait until the end of the month and that should re-trigger a ton of things. So 001 continuance, they've opened their borders to us, that's excellent. We've got non-aggression with them. There isn't any money civics in there, sadly. I would have maybe picked one. Oh, one thing which is lowering my income here is actually the unrest on certain places. You can see if I highlight that, yeah, it lowers the output. So once I can get some armies built, get that in to control the unrest, then yeah, that'd be pretty good to say the least. It's going to be hard to upgrade my fleet, so I may just get this attacking starport straight away, or even fleets potentially. Right. Yeah, we have association status with them. I kind of want to attack their capital, but I kind of don't because of the habitats being made. So that's difficult. Right, that hasn't really affected anything. I can't. What's this? Oh, right. I don't know. It's a bit baggy that. Okay. Let's wait. It's at the end of the month. Guaranteed independence. That's a worry. Will I end up at war with them if I conquer them? Or am I already at war with them? I'm gonna have to conquer them, so I hope that doesn't trigger automatic war. That could be terrible if it does. Luckily, they are pretty busy against the other robots and their equivalent of fleet power anyway, so. Who is ahead on fleet power? They're superior. They're superior. And that's probably about it. Okay. If I can get my old empire back, we'll probably be in decent shape. With a ton of potential. Right, they've opened their borders. I need to give one of my sectors energy. Not much I can. Well, let's do that. Okay, they're losing 15 a month. Got a bit back, arguably. Yeah, I got the energy problem still. So. Right. Oh, it's just gone the start of the month. Okay, I'm gonna take another minute out to see if there's anything I need to do. I'm not sure there is. Hopefully I haven't forgot to discuss anything. Quite possible I have. But yeah, I'm gonna take a minute out to see what shape we're in. Okay, I've started to upgrade some of my templates. I haven't given them new names yet, but I've created templates for my corvettes. I'm starting to use these torpedoes, which are great against Really big ships, not against small ships though, so I'm not really sure how many I should be using, but against my old fleet they were mainly small ships, I think, actually. These point defense, afterburners on them. Sadly, the regenerative tech that I researched didn't carry over to this machine empire, so I probably shouldn't have researched that actually, but wasn't expecting it not to carry over. I don't think I've got the Hannah flagella type creature weapon that I had as well. Cruisers, I haven't bothered putting afterburners on them because they probably keep it long range in the main anyway. So that's how they look, and they're the battleships. So yeah, all rather expensive to say the least. So I may upgrade those, I may not. Frankly, I doubt I've got the energy or minerals to upgrade them. What I think I'm probably going to do, as soon as that gets into the capital system, I'm going to head straight for Hubes and hopefully take down my old fleet. That's actually completed now, but there is another one being made there. If I attack from the right direction, maybe I won't. Well, the thing is, a constructor is building it. It may retreat when I enter the system, so there's a reason for me to wait until it's made. But I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just attack anyway. So I decided to make another capital building, a full one on Cuban, is it? No, I think it was Naus actually. So that's going to get made, and there's a ton of tiles on here for energy I probably make. I accidentally deleted one of the robots I was making as well. Yeah, let's continue on with things now. Right, I think I've done most of the preparation I need to do at this point. So it's just a case of not losing too much energy. Yeah, we can see the automated strike force there, so it's about as strong as I left it. Okay, so I should be able to defeat that. Maybe I should have yeah, deleted a bit more off that. It looks like it's come out of port there, which is great actually. So if I can yeah, go and not attack it Hebes at the same time, that'd be really good.